for tuning in to our coverage of the World Economic Forum at Davos. It's a chilly morning or a chilly afternoon, as the case may be, but we are warm indoors and talking to a red hot sector, really, or talking about a red hot sector. Minister of Power and New Renewable Energy, Government of India, Mr. RK Singh joins us right now to talk about the world interest in power and renewables in and from India for the rest of the world. Sir, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us.
Pleasure.
We were talking to the president of the World Economic Forum, who said that, of course, the interest in India is very high, and that the ministers who've come from India, the highest number of bilateral registrations that have happened for the Power Ministry and one more. So tell us about what you are gauging about the interest in the India energy sector at Davos.
The president of WEF, he came to Delhi to invite me, and he said that, look, India has done something huge in the energy sector. We have really done something, and you have a story to tell.
Yes.
So please come and tell that story to Davos, because what we have done is absolutely unparalleled, both in terms of access as well as in terms of energy transition, emissions reduction, adding of renewables. So that's why he said that we have a story to tell. Please come.
What is the story you've told, sir?
Now, what the story? I mean, now it has
the
permeated.
Reality,
Now the story has permeated. So what has happened is a number of the huge things. One, of course, was access. We connected every village, every hamlet, hundreds of thousands of hamlets, and 29 million homes. We could this government transformed the country from power deficit to power surplus. We've connected the whole country to one grid by adding about 173,000 circuit kilometers. Now we can transfer 112,000 megawatts from one part of the country to another. We've already become power surplus. We export to Bangladesh, neighboring countries, Nepal, etc. We've strengthened the distribution system by investing almost about 2,05,000 crores, which comes to about how many $billion? 12, $13 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we constructed almost 2,900 new substations, upgraded about near about 4,000 substations, added 850,000 circuit kilometers of HT lines, LT lines. So the availability of power throughout the country has gone up to almost over 23, 24 hours throughout the country. So that's one transformation. The other transformation is that India today has emerged as one of the largest renewable energy capacities in the world.
Sure.
We had pledged that by 2030 we'll have 40% of our capacity from non-fossils. We achieved that 9 years in advance. Today, 42% of my capacity is non-fossil. No other country has transitioned so rapidly, so fast as we have. And we have, this is just one part of the transition. The other part of the transition is emissions reduction. Now, for emissions reduction also, I'll tell you what we have done. So we had pledged again in COP21 Paris that by 2030 we'll reduce the emissions intensity of our economy by 33%. We've already reduced by 30%. Again, 8 years in advance. So no other countries matched it. And international bodies, who do the ranking. So the one international body, they said that India is amongst the top 5 countries in in energy transition. And of the top 5 countries, we are the only major economy. The others are small economies. So as major economy, we are the only country. Another, the international body said that if you talk about major economies, we are the only major economy whose energy transition actions are consonant with a sub-2-degree rising global temperature. That's what we are. In this, turbulent world, the energy world has been turbulent. We have been an oasis of peace, calm, availability. The prices have not gone up, and electricity is available at the same price, and it's available to everybody.
Most certainly.
Despite the fact that my demand has been growing 10.5%.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that we are happy we are in India and not in Europe currently.
Yes,
Most
yeah,
certainly.
yeah.
Okay, now I have a question, which is that how do you see the power sector in India balancing out the need to add thermal power as well? Because going completely clean very quickly, some countries have figured out that it was not the right thing to do maybe. And at the same time, the pledges and the internal targets that we have of going green. So how do we balance it out?
One thing I think we need to understand, and that is that you can't have 100% green energy until unless you have solved the problem of storage, because the sun doesn't shine at night, the wind doesn't blow when it doesn't blow. You still need energy at night or wherever when the sun doesn't shine, the wind doesn't blow. Now, therefore, you need a base load. You need a dispatchable base load, which a renewable does not provide, except for hydro. So that base load will come from different sources for different countries. Those who have gas, burn gas. Those who import gas, burn gas. Those who have nuclear, burn nuclear. Those who have coal, they burn coal. That's the base load. But what is happening is right now, my overall capacity has come down to about 60% or let's say 58% from coal. My capacity from coal has now come down from near about 95% to 58%.
58%, sure.
42% is already non-fossil. And by 2030, I will have 500 gigawatts of non-fossil out of a total capacity of 820 gigawatts. I think it would be around 900 gigawatts.
Okay.
So that will mean that by 2030, about 60% of the
60%
will be
non-fossil.
non-fossil. So the coal would have come down from near 95.
Sure.
It has already come down to 58, and then in 2030 it will come down to about 45.
Right. Got it.
So coal capacity in my overall established capacity is coming down. But doing away with it, that will happen when storage becomes viable.
Most certainly. No, actually, the point that
And one more thing I want
Please,
to add.
please.
I will very bluntly. And this I am saying from a position where I am the only major country which has actually done the transition.
Sure.
We are ahead of everybody. I will not compromise with the requirements of energy for my growth. Full stop.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, growth and the needs of the people, and which is what actually the other question was, that a lot of power company CEOs have said that, by virtue of the fact that there has not been significant thermal power capacity addition in the last decade, right, could there be a issue, say by 2024 or 25, about the demand supply mismatch? And therefore my question is, how much of thermal power capacity addition do you envisage over the course of the next few years?
Now, I have already about 28,000 megawatts under construction, thermal power capacity. That may not be enough.
Okay.
So in which case I'll have to add another about 20,000 megawatts more. But overall, the percentage of thermal capacity will come down.
Will come down.
Yes.
Sure.
And so we shall be true to our targets that by 2030 we'll have 500 gigawatts of non-fossil.
Which is true.
Yeah.
Okay. But you don't foresee an issue with regards to demand supply in the next 2-3 years? Any major issue? There might be small hiccups here.
So that, in fact, if I see this, then I will take steps accordingly. Because as I said, my bottom line is that I am not going to compromise with the availability of power for my growth, for the growth of the country, or for giving higher standards of living for my people.
Most certainly. Most certainly. Okay, the green energy roadmap, sir, and the roadblocks that you believe might come up as you foresee them right now. Some of them might be unforeseen as well.
Now, so one roadblock we've already met, and that is the storage.
Yes.
So as I said, you can't inject renewable energy beyond a certain point until if you don't have storage.
Sure.
Then what happens is that you have to let go of renewable energy. You have extra renewable energy, so you let go. That's a waste. Now we came out with a bid for storage, 1,000 megawatt hours, one of the biggest bids in the world. And this just shows, this is just a mirror of what the developed world has not done. If they had added storage capacity, the prices would have been less. If they had added storage manufacturing, the prices would have been less. But nonetheless, we are a pioneer, and we go where we take the lead. So this bid gave me a rate of 10 rupees per kilowatt hour, whereas my power cost, renewable energy cost is 2 rupees 50 paisa. So it's 4 times my energy cost. 1 hour of storage is 4 times the price of 1 kilowatt hour. Storage is 4 times the price of my energy. Not viable right now. But I finalized that bid, we'll be using it. The other bid which was carried out by one of our companies, generating companies, NTPC, was 3,000 megawatt hours of pumped hydro. So that price was more affordable, it's 5 rupees per kilowatt hour. So we shall transition, we shall add volumes. I mean, irrespective of the developed world which has been just talking and doing nothing. We shall add volumes because we believe that if we add volumes, the price will go down. We shall start manufacturing of battery storage, but I'm not putting all my eggs in this. So I will start, we shall start manufacturing of battery storage using battery storage. We shall also be going big on pumped hydro. It's cheaper and it is more environmentally better. It is better environmentally, and then that takes care of my supply chain problems. Lithium ion has a supply chain issue.
Yes.
Because the reserves, known reserves, have been tied up by one country.
Yes.
To the extent of 89%. So we don't want that supply chain. So we would probably avoid lithium ion if we can, and go in for either sodium ion or go in for even using green hydrogen, green ammonia storage. That's one of the pilots I'll try out.
Got it, sir.
But we shall transition, and this is a roadblock. Storage is a roadblock in transition, major roadblock in transition. So, as far as power is concerned, there are other sectors which need greening, which we want to green. For which we launched the hydrogen mission, green hydrogen mission. Now, under that green hydrogen mission, for example, we'll be carrying out a pilot for green steel. We'll be carrying out a pilot for shipping using green ammonia. Similarly, we'll be carrying out pilots for long range heavy mobility using green hydrogen and fuel cells. So these pilots will carry out, and when they become successful, we will sort of introduce them. I have already started pilots for long distance buses. So we'll be introducing green, that is hydrogen buses in Ladakh. We'll be using hydrogen buses from Delhi to Jaipur, etc. So we are adding. That is another one. Electric mobility is growing.
Sure.
And we shall push that.
Great. So I have 3 more questions. One is the National Green Hydrogen Mission. Some more details about it, and 2-part question. Are the targets ambitious or realistic? And both are okay. And more so in the wake of the fact that capital is going to become more scarce as rates are moving up. The total investments for the mission are about 8 lakh crores over 2030, of course. So therefore, my question is 2-part that way.
The great thing is that I haven't felt the scarcity of capital.
Okay.
We have structured our bids in such a way that they are totally transparent. We have a dispute resolution mechanism which decides within 30 days. We have payment securities, etc. in place. So it's a great place to invest, and I'm getting investments. This capacity which we have set up, 177 gigawatts, and another 75 gigawatts is under construction, by the way. Now, I have not had to put in a single penny. All this is through the private sector. The private sector gets funds. Every fund is invested in India. Those who are not invested in India feel that they are missing out. They are missing out.
You feeling that in Davos as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So they are, more and more funds want to come, and they want to invest more and more. You heard?
Most certainly.
Yeah. So basically, I'm in the happy place that people know that my sector is big and it's growing. It will be much bigger. They know that this is a good place to invest and make good returns. So I'm happy. So I see no problem in green hydrogen, and I'll tell you how.
Haji.
I'll tell you how.
Please.
Already, I have got concrete companies, my company, all private sector, have got concrete plans, land, sand, etc. tied up for manufacturing of 6 million tons of green hydrogen and 32 million tons of green ammonia. Already. Basically we started work, we launched this formally just fortnight back.
Yeah.
But we started work on this earlier, so that we put the regulations in place, the transmission systems in place, and the rules in place, providing open access, etc. So they are ready to go. And in fact, the targets which we have given in the mission are very conservative. 10 million tons of green hydrogen by 2030, I'll cross that. I'll cross that.
So it's not even ambitious, not even realistic. You're saying you're very
Conservative.
conservative, right?
It's very conservative.
Okay, great.
But I already have, as I told you, 6 million tons
Yeah,
lined up,
sure.
green hydrogen, and 32 million tons of green ammonia.
Okay.
Ah.
My final question would be, what's your
No,
vision?
but in
Please.
this, I have to say something, which the world must hear.
Please.
And that is, I have already come across some developed countries, acting in a protectionist, taking protectionist action. This is not done.
Yeah.
You keep, the developed world, your developed world, you keep lecturing the whole world about open market. What happened to the open market? You keep lecturing to the whole world about free trade. What happened to the free trade? All that has gone by the wayside. And you keep telling the rest of the world that now you see climate is in danger. You need to transition. You're not doing anything about transitioning. You have nothing.
Sure.
And when other countries have started taking action about transition, you set up barriers. Then you can't talk about climate action and things like that. You don't have the moral right.
Yeah, which is I think the message that our government has now,
As a what?
as that you,
Huh?
yeah, as a part of the government as well, you too, and your ministry has done that very well. My final question would be, what is your vision for 25 years out? But just before that, one quick question. This whole attempt or thought of ending the monopolies of the SEBs, how difficult a task is that in wake of the fact that there are promises of free power, power subsidy, etc., still firmly in place?
Yeah, my message to everybody has been, and this I put on the ground as well, that look, you want to subsidize, some category of consumers, the poorer consumers or whatever farmers, go right ahead. I have no problems with that. But the power which you draw from generating companies from the grid, you must pay for. So you don't want the consumers to pay, then you have to pay for it. That means the state government has to pay for it, or the state government which has announced the subsidy has to pay for it. Because the power has to be paid for. Power is not free.
Yes.
And if you don't pay for it in the specified time, then your power will get cut off. And I have already put that system in place, and that system has been acting, has been operating now for almost 4 months now, and it's working great, because now everybody realized that okay, I want to give subsidy, I can give subsidy, but that money has to be paid. The power is not free, so they pay. Initially, when we put the system in place, the connection of 13 discoms to the exchange got snapped because they didn't pay in time.
Yes.
Yeah, so they paid up properly, and thereafter they are all on time.
Yeah. I must say, a lot of people have actually lauded that move as well.
Yes, yes.
My final question, sir. What is your vision for the space in the country, say multiple years out, not just in the next 2-3 years, or not just till 2030? Let's say a really long-term vision for the energy sector in India.
Now, I see India becoming an exporter of energy in terms of green hydrogen, green ammonia. You know why? Of course, that import of fossil fuels, petroleum, mainly we import petroleum products, and it's mainly because of mobility will stop, because we are transitioning, because our electric mobility is going electric, and the very heavy mobility will go hydrogen. We'll be trying out hydrogen trains. We are trying out heavy mobility on that. So we'll emerge as exporters. Why? We are we make renewable energy at the cheapest cost. 75% of the cost of green hydrogen is renewable energy. So nobody can compete with us. Open fair competition, they'll have to buy from us. Or they can decide to put up barriers and buy their own green hydrogen at 3 times or twice the cost at which I'll supply them. In which case, they can't turn around and ask us about free
Most
trade.
certainly.
Yeah. Because barriers will beget barriers.
Got it. Lovely talking to you, sir. Thank you so
My
much,
pleasure. My
and
pleasure.
wishing you all the best for the
Thank you.
remainder of the stay at
Thank you.
Davos.
Thank you. Thank you.
And viewers, thanks for tuning in.